Yo, what is good? My anime people, what is good? Mob Psycho, man. This show is definitely pushing itself to some interesting boundaries. I pretty much called that this was going to be the end all be all, probably, with the Claw showing up at the end of season one and not really uh, doing any types of follow ups to it. It just seemed to me like that would be the smart idea to do. Uh, and not only did they do it, but they gave us a whole bunch of character progression for Mob himself, and not just Mob, but Reagan, his classmates. They really went in, and I appreciate that aspect of them even trying to put it out there like that. So with this week's episode, Mob is straight up passed out still from going 100%, literally just kind of living in it for a while. Usually, Mob uses all of his powers on the first person, but in this case, he actually used his power against multiple people, and then not only that, he waited until he heard information that kind of benefited his feelings, and that was what actually had him go to sleep and completely just relax. So it's a excuse me, it's an interesting concept with having these characters pretty much try to take over, like Reagan trying to take over the organization of the old Claw members and pretty much get them to do what they can now that he found out that because of the psychic problem, they can't really give him any benefits. So what does he want to do now? He really wants to fight all those people that are psychic. So I thought that was absolutely genius, and I definitely would see Reagan doing this. That's why it's so brilliant, in my opinion. But overall, man, I think with this show, we just learned so much about what the potential for Mob could be, in the sense of he has great friends and he has great people around him, and to think that Dimple pretty much could understand that if something would happen to certain people, it's a wrap, man. Like, people are going to die if something doesn't work out the right way for Mob. So it's really one of those things where even even characters that are seemingly evil at the start become quite enjoyable and actually watchable when it comes down to. I really like Dimple now, and if he would be one of the people to be taken out, I think Mob would feel some type of way about it. He's that ghost that follows him around that kind of has an input on life from his own perspective, just like how Reagan has his own perspective as well, and those two usually don't agree. So you got two counterbalanced uh, information coming at you from two different sides. That's a good thing to hear multiple sides of the story. So that's what I like about where they're going with that. But to be fair, man, to be fair, there is so much that could come out of just like this overall uh, week's like well, not this week, but next week's battles, because we saw that one of the ultimate people kind of was has been taking it easy. So not only are the clan people who are attacking the Claw, the Ultimate Five or whatever they go by, they're attacking, and not only are they doing this, but they seemingly are perfectly fine with actually not everybody, but the main bad guy is pretty much giving us this monologue of what he's been through in his life, what he's thought about, who he's cared about, what he hasn't cared about, all of these different things, and to learn that the things that he really only cared about was himself, and he never really understood anyone else's feelings but his own. It's an easy way to draw these narratives of his own defeat. By Mob knowing how people feels, he might be able to amplify their powers with his 100% or his beyond 100%. So That's the types of things that this show kind of introduces very, very lightly. Because I mean, the only way I could have noticed that is by looking into what he was saying. Like by what I was hearing, what he was saying, I was just really looking into what that could possibly mean for his character, or what it could possibly mean for his overall battles when he is using all these members that are very, very powerful, but for some reason they are weaker than him. They're weaker than him. They're his henchmen, and all of these different things are kind of just like his way of showing them, like, hey, I am what I am because of this and that, but at the same time, if you cross me, you'll probably die. Like, if you cross me, I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about you. Just, oh my, why did Vegeta still, like, I hate when that happens. But I honestly think that we're in a good position for this show in general. Um, I like that direction that they're going into. Kind of give us the narrative of the son's perspective of this situation. I can't even go awakening when my, no, come on, bro. But they're giving us the situation, what's going on between the dad and what's going on between the son. So clearly, we might be able to see something interesting pop off in there. But at the same time, when you look at it, it's a weird narrative in the long scheme of things. Just by looking at what his son kind of brings to the table, with saying that Mob's brother has stronger latent abilities than even Mob. That freaked me out. That is something that you hear and you get kind of scared. Like, that man is very unstable, and for some reason, it won't really take much for him to snap out at times. And not to mention with his little brother on the line, like when people were threatening him or even trying to just bully Mob, he's coming out with the big guns and trying to end their lives. He's not just going in there and pulling their pants down so they get all weirded out and run away. He's like smashing their faces into the ground. So that's the type of guy his brother is. And to think that he might have abilities far beyond Mob's, and this is coming from a guy who's trained and lived under the shadow of someone that's pretty much built up a army of disgustingly strong espers. I think it's safe to say that we can trust his judgment on this. We can take his word at its core, because if anyone's been around a lot of psychics or a lot of powers, it's this kid. He's been in an organization full of them. So that's another reason why he definitely reaches out to find him. And I wonder what would have happened if Mob was there and what he would have tried to do with Mob. So, or if he even wanted to meet Mob. It's just this weird little scenario now that you kind of never get to know because of how things play out. And I think that's really fun with anime, but at the same time, you kind of wish there was like a storyboard or like a alternate path that you could see when Mob opens the door to that kid and then like gives his parents the stuff to get away, and then the house blows up, and maybe the latent powers would have awoken in the brother and he would have turned into a villain. There's so much that could have happened, guys. And that's just like the top of my mind just thinking of it. So I'm pretty sure the creator could have came up with something even more creative than what I just did. So I honestly have faith that we're going to be seeing quite a bit of good stuff with this show. My only problem now is Mobs feels like he's like regress. I mean, I just feel like Mobs was underused in this week's episode. I think that's all I can say. And I understand why. He's completely drained after the day that he pretty much spent and using all of his powers. but then to have him show up and just like one shot one of the guys and just like walk away from it all was kind of weird. Unless they're going to follow it up by him fighting the buff guy afterwards, because we just saw the buff guy go through a lot. He was like, he got the curse sprayed in his face. He got muscled. He got beat by muscles, you know, like he had a lot go on. And then for Mob just to smash him down for good measures, it feels like he might be able to come back for that and give Mob another reason to push himself. But the only reason why I say that it feels like it's over is because in next week's previews, unless this guy wakes up and literally doesn't touch Mob, it looks like Mob is completely fine when he walks up or when he's fighting the plant guy in the next preview episode. So not only did the kid and Mob's brother leave the three guys to their own devices to okay, that sounded, it was gonna go real bad, to destroy the guy with the plants. We find out that they just kept going. They just left and went to the dad. You know, they're like, oh well, good luck to you. And now we're looking at Mob supposedly showing up and fighting the plant guy, which I think is another reasoning why Mob is such a beloved character amongst their own community and stuff, or like amongst the psychics, because he doesn't care. Like, if you're one of the people that are in the way and then there's people being hurt during it, he's gonna help those people being hurt. And that's just the kind of dude he is. And I think people don't understand that until they meet him. People always usually help because it could benefit them, or they help because then they get to look some kind of way. There's always a reasoning behind when people do stuff. But when you have someone who generally just wanted to protect you while also trying to win a fight, it's endearing. It's like and motivating. So, including if you've never seen it before and no one's ever done it for you, it has to be nice. I can only imagine. So, well, I don't have to imagine. I have good family, so it's really nice to see this stuff translating in anime and looking so amazing at the same time. But overall, guys, Mob Psycho is here, and it is close to over already. I'm pretty sure it's only 12 episodes, guys. And that's why I wanted to hop on it so quickly. The next episode or next show I'll be talking about is Diorio. And that show has, like a good amount of episodes in it, and I'm not really beat up about it. So it's just why I'm kind of hopping on Mob first, because it's gonna be gone, and I definitely want to give it as much support as I can, even if it doesn't need that much support, seeing how it's been fire for quite a while since season 1, and people just didn't really know until now. So here you go. Let's get it. But with that, everybody, I will talk to you in the next one. Have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case it is when you're watching this. I am the Anime G, and I will talk to you in the next one. Peace.